Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and tonight we are so excited because we are celebrating our July 2026 release party. Tonight we have several of our illustrators that are going to be joining us tonight and sharing their brand new stamps, dies, and stencils. And we've got a brand new Christmas in July card kit, and I can't wait to show you. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom. And your noisemaker.
Wow. Yes, happy release party. It's always so exciting on release days, release weeks.
It is.
And exhilarating and nuts.
Yes. It's been crazy around here today, hasn't it?
It has.
Everybody
yes.
busy getting ready for everything, and I think we're ready.
You think so?
I think so.
Flip a coin and
just hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
And we'd like to give a big shout out to Brianne Loveland for joining us tonight. Brianne will be helping you find all of the things that I'm showing you tonight in the release party. And if there's any other things that I used in any of the projects or any of our illustrators used, Brianna's really good about finding those links for you and sharing them so you can always find what we are using. Thanks to Brianne. Thank you for being here, Brianne. Well, Tom, we've got a jam-packed night tonight, and this has been, I know I say this a lot, that this is my favorite release ever, but I'm telling you, I have had so much fun with this kit. I couldn't stop all weekend.
It's true. She was like, oh, I hear these sounds coming from the other room. Oh, this is good. And yeah, some she really just takes, finds inspiration and has fun with. And this is one of them. I think she's really plugged in. So.
Yeah. So we're going to have fun in the next upcoming weeks here on our YouTube channel. But we've got so many fun things to share. And the first thing I always like to show people is what's new. So I'm going to do that right now as far as what our new incentive set is. So we have 2 brand new incentive sets. Now, if you're new to Gina K Designs, You may or may not know that every release we introduce 2 brand new incentive stamp sets that are yours free with any $75 purchase. You get to pick one of these. There are 3 different options on our website. There are 2 stamp sets and a pack of our white cardstock in A2 size. And you get to choose which one of those 3 gifts that you want for free with your $75 purchase. And the first one I want to show you is this brand new set called Joy Will Blossom. I love this one. I think this is such a beautiful image for spring, summer, and fall. You can color these flowers in any colors that you want and make them appropriate for whatever season. And I love the greetings on this set. It has, "You are so kind. Where kindness is planted, joy will blossom. May your heart blossom with happiness, and many thanks." And this one is perfect for coloring. You can emboss it with gold, silver, or white and do emboss resist. You can color with colored pencils, Copic markers, Olo markers, watercolor, whatever your favorite coloring medium of choice is. And if you choose this one, you can also purchase the coordinating die set. Now, this die set cuts out the image and all of the greetings so that you can pop up these gorgeous greetings and this image. And I love these greetings for other cards too, not just for this design. You can use these greetings for other images that you have in your collection as well. And I made a tag using this because I thought this would be so nice if somebody did something nice for you and you wanted to add a tag to like a, I don't know, a bottle of wine, or maybe you made some homemade cookies or something and you wanted to take that over. And so I made this tag using this set. Isn't that fun? So what I did here is I used our Tags Trio die set, and then I colored this whole image using Prismacolor pencils and Gamsol. And I used some 1/4" Masking Magic strips around the outside of this tag, and I did some ink blending with sea glass, and then I used our snowy background stamp. If you don't have that one, but you have our seasonal patterns and phrases, that's got a spatter stamp in it too. And I just stamped that in some light spruce ink just to give it some texture. And then I happen to have this twine in my collection, and I thought it matched really nice with the spruce, but you can use white, you can use gold cording, you can use whatever you have laying around. But isn't that just so fun? And then I popped the image and the greetings up using some foam squares. And, you know, don't forget that you can use the tag in place of an oval or a rectangle. And then you can pop this onto a 5x7 card or an A6 card and use a tag as a focal image. You can even have the string on there, and you can put a little bit of glue, and then you can kind of press the string down into the glue so the string stays in place. And this would make a great focal image for a card. So whenever you see a tag, think I can use that for a card too. Or, you know, you could just change the shape and just add that to a card base. So this is my little sample here of our brand new Joy Will Blossom. This is yours free with any $75 purchase or more. You're going to get a pop-up, and you're going to get to pick this one as your free one if this one is your choice. And don't forget, add that die set too. All right, so that's our first incentive set. Now we have another incentive set that I'm just bananas over, and this one is called Courage to Fly. It's got these beautiful butterflies, and they're so different than so many of the butterflies we already have in our collection. These are more whimsical, they're very light and airy and doodly feeling, just something a little bit different. And they've got some really great greetings in here as well that can be used for these butterflies, with these butterflies, or with any other stamps that you have in your collection. A wish for you, wishing you a birthday that soars above the rest, and then wishing you wings to soar, courage to fly, and joy along the way. So this is such a great card for somebody that is maybe they're retiring, maybe they're starting college in the fall, maybe they just graduated, maybe they are just embarking on something brand new, a new business. This is a great greeting for that. And of course, we can all use fun birthday greetings. So I didn't make a card for this, but my friend Kathy Sanders, who is the manager here at Gina K Designs and also an amazing artist. She's got a pedigree a mile long of all of the wonderful things she's done in the industry, including teaching Copic markers when they first came out. She was the one that kind of helped develop the curriculum for Copic marker classes. She taught colored pencil classes all over the country, and she taught them at our store when we used to have a brick and mortar store. And so she took this home and she made a gorgeous card with it. This is by Kathy Sanders. And she made this a mini slimline card, so she used all 3 butterflies. And then I love what she did here. She took this birthday greeting and she just cut in between with scissors. And so she spaced out the greetings in between these popped up butterflies. So she's got wishing you a birthday that soars above the rest. Isn't that so creative? And look at her coloring. Oh my goodness. I think she did this, I think she did this with Copic markers. I want to say she did it with Copic markers, but she'll correct me if I'm wrong. She could have done it with colored pencil. That's the thing about Kathy. When she colors with watercolor, Copic markers, colored pencils, they all look flawless and they all look so perfect that it's hard to tell exactly what she used. But isn't that just the cutest card? And she used our Master Layouts 7 die set that works for mini slimline cards. And then she used a couple of our little metallic pearls. She used the black ones from there to add those little accents. So that is such a cute card. And what I love about this layout and I love about mini slimlines is they're great money cards. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you go to the store and you look for, I need a card where I can fit money in and the money doesn't have to be like bent or anything. This money fits in here really nicely. So you're really going to like using mini slimline for those types of cards, which are great for graduations and whatnot. All right. So what's going on, Tom?
Just making sure the kit is showing up on the What's New. If you're having trouble finding the kit,
I'm going to look here.
Just type it in you could type it to hit the little magnifying glass search bar and type in Christmas in July and you'll see it there.
Yes. I'm just looking here just to make sure. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to turn on the banner. So I'm going to turn on the banner here so people can see that the new release is now available. But usually what you do is you click onto shop. So try that time. Just click the shop tab. It should be the first product right there. Oh, it's not. That's interesting. Well, the good news is Sammy doesn't have ballet tonight. So if it's not there, she will definitely figure out why it's not showing and she will find it for you. I'm just going to look real quick here and click on the shop tab too. Shop. Let's see what's new. I'll tell you what might be easier is to go to Kits and Bundles. If you click on the Kits and Bundles filter, so if you go to shop and then click on filters on the side there, you'll see Kits and Bundles. You go down where it says more filters and Kits and Bundles, and we'll figure out why that's not showing up in What's New, and we'll get that done. All right, so Tom, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of our other illustrators. So 3 of our illustrators can't be here tonight. Actually, 4 of them can't be here tonight. But we have beautiful card samples by the illustrators and also by our guest designers to share with you tonight. So the first stamp and die set I want to show you here is this gorgeous set by Hannah Drapinski. And this one is called Floral Wreath. And it's got this beautiful, huge floral wreath, and then it's got this beautiful floral crest. Then it's got these huge greetings. That's true. Usually the new items do have an asterisk next to them, but the way we're doing our shipping now, they don't have it. So they should be able to be showing up in the What's New category. And that should do it, but I'm only seeing the Christmas in July kit. So Sammy will have to work on that and make sure that you can find all of these things to get them into the what's new. I think only, I don't know why they're not showing up. Oh, they are. They're
People are
showing up
saying
in what's new.
Yeah, people are saying it's there.
It's there. It's just down a little bit.
Okay.
Yep, it's there. I just refreshed it, and it's all there. So sometimes it takes a little while for this many products to populate too. So if you're having trouble, just go ahead and refresh. Now, this gorgeous set has these big, beautiful greetings, and there's a coordinating die set that cuts out the wreath, the crest, and all of these greetings. And you can see on this die set, it will cut the center out of the wreath as well. Don't pay any attention to these parts. This just holds these two layers together, but there's no blades on there. And that will allow you to cut the center out. And this way you can pop this wreath up and you can pop the greetings up in the inside and give it so much more depth and dimension. Now I want to show you some beautiful cards that some of our designers have created using this gorgeous floral wreath stamp and die collection. So Tom, are you ready for that?
I am ready to go.
All right, so the first ones we want to show you are these beautiful cards. And these cards, the first one is by Barb Engler, and she created this gorgeous, gorgeous wreath card. It's so simple and beautiful, but her coloring is amazing. Barb is a Copic master genius, and I love the way she colors. And you can see how that wreath gets cut out, how the inside is just open like that, which is perfect for adding greetings on the inside. And then the second card is by Donna Idlet. Donna, I think I'm saying your name right, Donna. I always get confused if it's Idlet or Idlet. Donna created this gorgeous card. She used our ornate frame as a background, and then she's got her flowers done in beautiful purples and greens. And then obviously that wreath is open, so she could pop up that thank you greeting in there, and it's just beautiful against that wild lilac cardstock in the back. All right, we've got a couple more to show you. Now, we want to show you the crest, too. Martina Jeramel made the first card there, and she kind of played off of our very unique layout that we did maybe a week or two ago on our YouTube channel. But she did it so that cutout is at the top, and I absolutely love the way that she positioned that crest on there and then used a circle die, a little stitched circle die to add the thank you, and her coloring is beautiful. That's a gorgeous card. And then the other one is by Donna as well, and she used Master Layouts 21 to create that beautiful arch back there. She used a little bit of light stenciling to ground her greeting, and then she used one of our pattern papers, one of the Delicate Patterns pattern papers for the background there, and put that on a beautiful soft stone card base. So there are some gorgeous cards featuring this brand new Stamp and Die collection. It's just such a pretty Stamp and Die collection. And I love these kinds of stamps for weddings and just for every day, really. They're good for any season because the flower is just kind of a whimsical flower. So you could make this the most beautiful autumn crest, and you could put a happy Thanksgiving greeting in here. You could make this a beautiful Christmas wreath by coloring the flowers red and the greenery green. So it's not limited to just spring or summer. You can use it all year round. So this is the new one, Floral Wreath, now available in our website in the What's New category at GinaKDesigns.com. The Courage to Fly incentive set will pop up once you have $75 in your cart, and then you'll be able to choose it from the 3 different choices. You can't really find it on the website. You have to put $75 in your cart in order for that pop-up to show up. All right, so the next illustrator that's not here, who has such a fun set this month, is Beth Saleka. And she's got a set that I think is a must-have if you ever need to make cards for kids, especially younger boys. I love this set, although my daughter Rena loved dinosaurs when she was young too. In fact, when we'd go to the museum, that's all she wanted to do is look at the dinosaur exhibit. So this set is called Dino-Mite, and it's got all of these adorable dinosaurs. It's got these great greetings like dynamite, terrific, you make my heart, and then you can add soar or roar. Hope your birthday is terrific or dynamite. You are a terrific friend. You are a dynamite friend. So you can mix and match these greetings to create some of the cutest sentiments. And then these dinosaurs can wear these little party hats if you want to give this to somebody for a birthday card. We've got some dinosaur eggs. We've got these footprints that you can put behind the dinosaur, some rocks, different little things that you can add like bushes and grass, and then a balloon. So you can make really, really fun cards for kids. Now, the other thing I love about this set is not just the fact that there's a coordinating die set that cuts every single greeting and every single design out, but it's also a great set if you've got kids or grandkids and you want to stamp together with them. So maybe you're making beautiful floral cards or you're working on your Christmas cards and they don't really want to work with an elegant floral design. You can have them stamp with something like this and they can have lots of fun making cards for their friends for upcoming birthdays or just having fun stamping and coloring along with you. So it's always good to have some of these types of images in your collection. So let's see a couple card samples made with this fun new dynamite set, Tom. All right, so the first couple of cards that we've got here, the first one is by Beth, the illustrator herself. She made that Hope Your Birthday is Dynamite card, and then she's got the 3 balloons tied up there on the dinosaur's tail, and he's wearing a party hat. I think that card is so cute. I love it. And then the second card there is by Lara Risotto, and she cut 3 circles there out of a piece of white cardstock, a white card base, and added some bright colors like wild lilac and passionate pink and blue sky behind those dinosaurs. I think that's what she did. She may have actually ink blended some circles there. It's always hard to tell in a picture. And then she popped those little dinosaurs right over those little grounding circles. And she used You Make My Heart Soar. And what I like about her card there is she didn't do a lot of complex coloring. She let the dinosaurs stay white, but then she just added the details in those colors and match them to those circles. So that's a really quick and easy card, and also an easy one for kids to copy too. So if they're looking for an idea, they can have a lot of success doing something like that. All right, let's see a couple more cards. All right, Laura's the queen here. Look at her. She made another one just with all white designs. So if you're not somebody that likes to color, you could stamp these images just like that and give that card to a youngster with a little pack of crayons, and they can do the coloring. They can color the dinosaurs themselves, which is super fun. And these images are perfect for that because they're not small. They're nice and big, and they've got a nice thick line weight, which makes it easy for the kids to actually color. And then she did in 3 different colors. You are a terrific friend. I just love that. That is such a cute card. And then in her next one, she went full-blown coloring, and her coloring is spectacular. She did Hope Your Birthday is Dynamite. Looks like she embossed that in some white embossing powder over some beautiful ink blending and created a scene with some of those tiny elements, and then popped her dinosaurs and her flying one along with a balloon and a party hat and made a really, really cute birthday card using the new Dynamite stamp set. I love it. So much fun. Aren't they adorable? So if you're looking for the perfect stamp set for kids, or you're looking for something that your kids or your grandkids can stamp with, Dynamite is now available in the What's New category at GinaKDesigns.com. All right. So we have one more Stamp and Die bundle to share with you, and that is one by Dina Gerner. So Dina is she is just, everything she does is so adorable and so cute. And this is her brand new Little Makers Stamp and Die collection. These little guys and gals are so cute. So for anybody that has secondary hobbies like I do, I love to sew. I love to sew. So I have a sewing machine and I have a serger. I don't do it as much as I like, but I used to make all my kids' clothes. These kinds of stamps are perfect for your friends who have those additional hobbies, or maybe your friends that have different hobbies than card making. So we've got this cute little one that is sewing with a sewing machine and has this little pin cushion right there. We have this little gal who's doing some embroidery or needlework. So she's stitching. She could be stitching on a card panel right there too. And she's got her little spool of thread. And then we've got this little guy down here, guy, not quite sure. We've got a dog, a cat, and a mouse. And this little mouse has some knitting needles and his little ball of string. And then we have this big pin cushion image and this big needle and thread image, and we've got greetings that say, "True beauty is felt in the heart, handmade just for you." I love that font. "Just because, so very special, and knitted with love." And then this stamp set also has a complete die set that has all of the dies to cut out all of the images and all of the greetings. So you can cut these out and pop them up in all kinds of different ways. So let's see some of the cards that Gina, the illustrator herself, made using the brand new Little Makers. Now, she sent me a lot of cards, but I'm only going to show you 4 because the rest of them she's going to post on social media. So the first one is that cute little one. She used, I can't think of the name of it. Is it close knit? Brianne, help me. It was an incentive set where we had those balls of yarn, and I can't remember, but Brianne will find it for us. But she used that old incentive set to create those 2 little things of yarn there. Are they called skeins, I think? And then she's got, I say that quietly because I don't know what I'm talking about. And then she used Master Layouts 20 for that beautiful frame, and she colored her adorable little mouse and all of his cute little knitting needlework there that he is doing, and used Knitted with Love. I just love that. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest card. She also used the Twirl It checks to create that background. So that card is to die for. I love it. And then the next one is, no, can you go back, Tom? This one here, she used the sewing machine image, and she used our Master Layouts 14, the postage die, but instead of using it as postage, she just cut little different patterns that she created with stamps to look like kind of like a quilt. That's brilliant. I love the way she did that. And then she colored the little puppy, so cute with the cheeks and the ears. And that sewing machine, she's got the pin cushion there, and she used the greetings so very special. So I love the way she used Master Layouts 14. That's very creative. For all of you that love to sew, or even if you just love that patchwork look, do that. Try that, because that is a really, really brilliant way to use Master Layouts 14. I love that. Okay, next slide. All right, so then on the one with the cat, she has the cat doing some stitching, some needlework. Maybe she's stitching on a little round card there. And she's got a beautiful stamped blue background. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I'm so mesmerized by Dina's coloring and the way she colors these animals. She always posts all of her cards in our Facebook group too. So if you haven't seen her cards, you can always search by her name and all of her posts will come up. Or you can search by whatever stamp set you have and her posts and other ones will come up. But if I always struggle with coloring animals, and then I look at Dina's and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what she did. She made the arms, the little paw legs there in color, and then kept the little feet white. And then it's easier for me to color when I look at her stuff. So that one is great. True beauty is felt in the heart. And then she made 2 really sweet tags. Looks like she used Debbie's bookmark dies, and she used our decorative tags to create those using the pin cushion, and lots of beautiful watercolor and that beautiful watercolor background. I just love those tags. What a nice tag. Like if you have a friend that loves yarn and stuff and you get them a couple things of yarn and you can put them in a bag and hang a tag like that on there. It'd be so beautiful. Oh, I love it. So those are some gorgeous cards using the brand new Little Makers Stamp and Die collection by Dina Gerner, and they are now available in the What's New category at ginakdesigns.com. All right, well now it is time for our illustrators, and I do want to tell you that our Gina doesn't have a stamp set this month. She's still with the company. She actually did create a beautiful stamp set, and it was spectacular. And then I always help Argita with the greetings. So I always do the greetings for Argita. And I had a huge typo in the stamp set, and we got it not in time to correct it. So we had to table her new stamp set, and we're going to release it a little bit later this fall with the corrected stamp and the corrected die. So when you see that stamp set, we'll talk about it when I launch it, how there'll be an extra stamp in there that fixes the incorrect spelling, and there'll be an extra die in the die set that matches that corrected stamp. So Argita, I'm so sorry that happened. It was totally my bad. Just sometimes you move too fast, and that was the problem. I was very last minute getting that in, and I didn't take time to use my usual proofreaders that I do, and I realize I always need to do that. So, all right, our next illustrator waiting in the wings is the amazing Lisa Hetrick. And Lisa has such an interesting collection, and let me just show it to you quickly. This one is called You're the Sweetest. And it's got this beautiful 6x8 stamp set, coordinating die set, and I love that Lisa is doing coloring stencils for all of her images now. They're so much fun. They make coloring so fun and easy for those of us that aren't pros yet with our pencils and markers. And Lisa is going to tell you all about this. So, without further ado, let's welcome her to the program, Lisa Hetrick.
Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick. Hi Gina. Hi Tom. Hello everyone, and welcome to our July release party. I'm super excited to be here with you tonight to share my brand new stamp set and die and stencil called You're the Sweetest. This is a little something new for me, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Let's dive in and take a look at the brand new stamp set called You're the Sweetest. This stamp set was inspired by baking. You might not know this, but I love to bake and I love to try new recipes, and I do love to make desserts. So super, super fun set. It's got a lot of really fun elements on it with this really fun layered cake, some little flower accoutrements. We've got little flowers for the top of our cake, a little bit of whippy cream for our cake, some cherries, which makes it kind of fun. And I also added this really fun cup that could be like a latte with a cherry on top, and the cake plate. So just kind of a super fun builder set inspired by baking and sweet things, and just a really fun set that you could give your card project to for any kind of occasion, which is super fun. So here's the stamp set, lots of really fun layering elements. We've got a coordinating stencil, and you can see that my coordinating stencil is already well loved, just as much as my stamp set, that has coloring elements for the cherries, for the cup, for the whipped cream, for the flowers, and of course, for the layers of the cake. Now, the cherries also have the shadow elements to them, which makes it kind of fun for creating a little bit more texture and dimension. And there's also a coordinating die that goes along with the set. That's an option for you called for You're the Sweetest. So let's dive in and take a look at the inspiration. I have a few cards to share with you today. Look at this card, just super fun. Just a little bit of a toss, we've got that background piece in the background. Now, there is a die that will cut that out as well. In the set, we've got You're the Sweetest and this cute little toss of the cherries. And you can see with the coloring stencil how you can add just that little bit of extra texture and dimension on the cherries. And I've got some more samples with that as well. Here's another example with all of the flower accoutrements that are in the set. You're the cherry on top, got the cake plate in the bottom, and I've got some of the flower elements that are just kind of on top of this, really cute mug, and the little cherry on top. This stamp set also kind of has like a little bit of a 50s vibe to it, a little bit of a retro look to it, depending upon what colors you use. I used really super bright colors in my samples because of florals and just really, really fun pinks. So, okay, this is another really fun sample using the cherries and doing a pattern toss. Many of you know that I like to create stamps that we can stamp again and again and again, and possibly use our coloring stencil to create the color. Not a lot of extra dimension to the card, but a really using color and using pattern, creating a lot of texture. I love this card. So here is the layered cake. And I also used the coordinating stencil with it. Put this cute little peony-like flowers on top. Hope your day is layered with joy. This is a great birthday card. Or it can just be kind of a generic card. Any kind of day that you want to celebrate with joy. I have a really funny story about the inspiration for the cake that I'm going to share on my tutorial this week. More about that at the end of this video. But the inspiration for the design of this cake, it is hilarious. I think you'll find that story super fun. Okay, here is another card that uses the cake plate element and also uses the whipped cream to kind of create almost like a cupcake, which I'm going to share how to use the different stamp elements in this set to create cakes, cupcakes, lattes, like all these different kinds of things that you can create with the elements. But this is just a super fun, quick, easy card. I also use the stencil, the coloring stencil, for the leafery that's on the cherries in the background as well. So I like mixing that coloring stencil with the stamps to kind of create a little bit of different texture and dimension. Here's that super fun card. Okay, I like this card. This one might be my favorite. Several of them are my favorites, but I took that background and just kind of turned it so that you got a little bit of a different look to it. That background with the diamond shape kind of has a little bit of that retro feel that I was talking about. So popping this really cute mug on top and then making it kind of look like a really big latte with a little cherry on top, just super fun. Just kind of fun and whimsical. This whole set just brings me great joy and just brings a smile to my face because it's just super fun and whimsical, a little bit different designs from me, but just super fun. Okay, here is another really fun card that just uses that cherry pattern toss again. Got a little bit of our flower accoutrements on here with You're the Cherry on top. I really like how I don't always do this with my card designs, but I really brought this design in to the center of the card, and so that you could see more of the background. And I really like how that red pulls the red of the cherries. Okay, here is another really fun example of using the cherries as that pattern toss and doing some loose and free watercolor. You could easily, this is just some washy watercolor. I could easily go back over top of my watercolor with the coloring stencil and add more texture and dimension to the color. You could use your colored pencils. I love taking the coloring stencil and going back over top of something that I've watercolored in my card just to add more depth of color Of course, you could do that with watercolor, but if you have the stencil, it's just kind of fun to play with. So taking a quick peek at the cards again, I think these two are my favorites. I really like the simplicity of the card. However, there's a lot going on. There's a little bit of texture and dimension. We've got some things popped up. And this layered cake I cannot wait to tell you this story on my tutorial this week about the inspiration for this cake. But how fun is that? It kind of looks a little bit like a red velvet cake in this card, but you could make it any color cake that you want to. Okay, friends, as with all of my stamp sets, I have a brand new card idea sheet for You're the Sweetest, and I've got 8 different card ideas on here. Some of them I kind of shared tonight, but some of them I haven't. So I can't wait to share more in the upcoming tutorials. Also in this download is the coordinating stencil guide. So I show you the different stamps that have coloring stencils and then what they look like when they are colored in. So here's the mug and the whippy cream, and here are the cherries and the different elements that build the shadows for the cherries. So there's a lot of really fun elements in the coloring stencil set. Okay, friends, let's take another look at You're the Sweetest. This is the stamp set that's available now at GinaKDesigns.com. And the coordinating die set is also available, and the coloring stencil is also available. Also, real quick note, you can pick up my You're the Sweetest card idea download in the Gina K Designs Facebook group. It'll be in the file section, or you can head on over to my website at indigojadeart.com and click on freebies, and every single card idea sheet for every single stamp set I've designed with Gina K is available there to you. Okay, friends, thanks so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you really enjoyed the inspiration that I shared with you tonight for You're the Sweetest. I'm super excited for this stamp set. I know that I say that every single month, but every single month and every single release with Gina K is pure joy to me. Okay, friends, sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of tonight's release party. I will be going live this week tomorrow, Wednesday at 11:30 with a brand new card tutorial using You're the Sweetest. And I think I'm mashing it up with something else. I'm not sure yet. Okay, friends, I hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks so much, Gina and Tom. This is going to be an amazing release tonight. I'm so grateful to you both and to you all for joining us tonight. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye now.
Okay, I totally want cake. I need a latte, and I'll take a side of a cupcake. Lisa, those cards were fantastic, and I can't wait to hear the story about the cake. So tomorrow, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern Time, Lisa is going to go live and share some stuff with you and tell you the story of the cake and her inspiration. This set, You're the Sweetest, is absolutely adorable. Where'd it go? I put it away. You're the Sweetest is absolutely adorable. Lisa, thank you for creating those coloring stencils to go with it and all of your idea sheets. I know that everybody loves those idea sheets. They really, really make things easy, and we appreciate all the hard work that you do month after month, bringing us so much inspiration and keeping our creative juices flowing. So find Lisa Hetrick on YouTube at Indigo Jade Art. Also, her website is called Indigo Jade Art. You can find her on Instagram, and make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Lisa. We appreciate it, and we love your brand new set. So our next illustrator waiting in the wings is Deborah Warner, and she has created a die set. Debbie's been getting into the die sets lately. So this is her newest, and it's called Stacking Petals. And it works so nicely with her last one, which was the what was it called? I put it in the sneak peek that I showed, but she'll tell you all about it. And it's so nice to have flower designs that go along with some of the greenery from her Favorite Flora. That's what it's called, Favorite Flora die set. I'll tell you, we have so many fun products, and some of the names, coming up with new names after 20 years is is always quite a challenge. But I love this stacking petals, and Debbie's going to tell you all about it, including, I know she's going to mention, but I'm going to mention it just in case she doesn't. If you'll notice, some of these smaller dies, they were put on plates. This way you won't lose them. You could cut them out, like all the greenery together and all these little stems and leaves together, all the centers together, because I would lose that little die in about 1 second. So it's nice that these are all available on these plates. All right, let's welcome her to the program. She's going to share all about this brand new die set, Deborah Warner.
Hi everybody, it's Debbie Warner for Gina K Designs. It is July 2026 and this is our release party. Gina and Tom, thank you for having me this evening. I'm excited to be here. Actually, I'm super excited to be here because I get to talk about stacking petals, my newest die set for Gina K Designs. I designed this die set a whole year ago and I have been patiently, or I should say impatiently waiting for its release. So that's why I'm extra excited today, because I'm just so excited about this. I have so many samples and I had so much fun, and I know you are too. So let me tell you about stacking petals. So there are basically, I guess you could say 3 to 5 basic flower shapes. However, when you combine them, they are so much more. So I did go ahead and create a vision sheet, an idea sheet. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but this way it shows you how you can stack the different petals and how they can come together to form a couple different flowers. So let me tell you that this time I didn't make any tags because I needed some bookmarks. I've been reading so many books this summer and I realized that I needed to retire my favorite bookmarks. So I made a few more. So let me show you all of my samples. So here you have the samples of the 2 bookmarks that I made. I did cut the bookmark shapes out using the beautiful bookmark dies. And then for the stamping on there, the one that says page marker, and read this page next, bookmark, and so many books, so little time. Those are all from my Make a Bookmark stamp set. And then the little dots on the smaller bookmark are from Hoots and Owls. On this birthday card, the only color of cardstock that I used was ivory, so I was going for a tone-on-tone look on this. I will explain to you my inspiration for the card in just a few minutes. I used our Harvest Floor stencil as an embossing folder, so that's considered dry embossing, and you use a little squishy mat, and I'm sure Gina has a video that explains how to use a stencil as an embossing folder. So I used embossing ink and gold embossing powder for the greeting, and that happy birthday is from On the Inside Birthday. I used Master Layouts 18 to cut out that greeting, and I finished it off with our gold pearls. On this card, Black Onyx and Craft are my cardstock colors. My ink is Black Onyx. The embossing folder that I used is Tapestry, and I only used that on half of that panel. The stamp set is Big Birthday, where that birthday greeting is from. I used Master Layouts 4 for the scalloped rectangle, and the embellishment is a frozen rhinestone by Gina K Designs. So this time of year, if I can sneak in a holiday card here or there, I like to do that, because then come November, I'm not scrambling to make so many. So on this holiday card, my cardstock colors are Skeleton Leaves, Red Velvet, White, Fresh Asparagus, Christmas Pine, and Wild Dandelion. My inks are embossing ink and Lemon Drop, and that Lemon Drop was used to swipe across a Skeleton Leaves cardstock that had been embossed with our Holiday Flora embossing folder. Dies, decorative tag dies, Favorite Flora. Stamp set, that greeting is from 'Tis the Season, and I did use white embossing powder and finished it off with a little piece of green ribbon. On this sympathy card, my cardstock colors are white, stormy sky, lucky clover, innocent pink, dusty rose, and petunia. For my inks, I used black onyx, but I also used some of the coordinating pinks with a detailed blending brush to give a little bit more interest to the petals. And then my dies are Master Layouts 18 for that greeting. And I used the stamp set with sympathy for the greeting, but I also used the wood grain background stamp in the black ink on that stormy sky panel. And then I embellished it with some black pearls. On this Get Well card, my cardstock colors are white, sweet corn, butterscotch, and peach Bellini. My ink colors are dark chocolate, sweet corn, butterscotch, and peach Bellini. Dies Master Layouts 18 for the frame, and I also use the inside that pops out for the inside of the card, and I will show you that in just a minute. Stamp sets, I used the pin dot, and I stamped that on the paper before I went ahead and cut out those petals. And then I used the same dark chocolate ink that I did the pin dot with to edge those. I use a little makeup brush to do that. Elegant Script was used for the background and Vertical Variety for the greeting. And on the inside, I did use Get Well Wishes. And here is a snapshot of the inside of the card where the inside of the frame from Master Layouts 18 comes out, and then I used it on the inside of my card. I rarely actually do a white card base, and so I almost always have a white panel that I put inside my cards. So this was perfect. On this card, my cardstock colors are white, wild lilac, edible eggplant, and I use vellum for the flowers and put those together with some brads. Ink, edible eggplant. My dies, I use sentiment strips for that UR, and Master Layouts 4 was used for that scalloped rectangle. Positive Greeting was the stamps, and the embossing folder is Petite Flourish. On this card, my cardstock colors are Skeleton Leaves, Cadet Blue, Marigold, Wild Dandelion, and Lucky Clover. For ink, I used Dark Chocolate, Cadet Blue, Marigold, and Fresh Asparagus. My stamp set for that greeting is Say It Large, and I used the thick brush stencil for that background in the Cadet Blue. So I did tone on tone with that one. And then my embellishment are rainbow pearls, just one little one in the center of that flower. So on this card, I used Barely There, black onyx, and a bunch of our pastels for my cardstocks. Ink, black onyx. For the dies, I used our Circle Shadow Shaker. And then for stamp sets, I used Pin Dot Background, Hoots and Owls for the greeting. So there you have my samples. I hope you enjoyed them, found them inspiring. I'll tell you, as I said last time, I get inspired by all of you. I have a friend, her name is Luann, and in June, she sent me a gorgeous birthday card of some die cut flowers. So I immediately texted her and I said, can I please copy your card design and share it on the release party? And she said, absolutely. And so I did. And this is the card, very similar to the one that I received from Luann. I just think it is stunning. It's so beautiful. And I just love the ivory on ivory. And on ivory, and then the gold accents. It's just this was definitely a favorite of mine. So I also really enjoyed this one because I love the pinks with the gray and the black, and I really, really like the way the wood grain shows in the background on the sympathy card. Another favorite, I'm sorry I have so many favorites this time, was this one. It was just so bright and cheery, kind of wanted that to look a bit like a sunflower. And to make the stem, all I did is use my paper cutter on just one quick little thin piece of the green cardstock to match the leaves, and there you have it. So this was a good one as well. I will make sure that I do go ahead and put this on the Facebook page tonight, so that by the time you get your set, you will definitely be able to go to this and look at it for some ideas. And most likely, Sammy will put a copy of it on the product page as well. So There you have it. There we have July 2026 and stacking petals. I know if you decide to buy this tonight, you are going to enjoy it as much as I did. It's just so much fun and it is so versatile. And there are so many more things you can do that I did. Cutting it out of like an old book so that there's words on it would be fun. Pattern paper would be fun. I loved the vellum. I just didn't want to show you another favorite card, but cutting them out of vellum, you can even take markers and color on the back of the vellum, and then that color shows through. Those are really pretty too. Alrighty then, that's all I have for tonight. Bye everybody.
Okay, Debbie, that was fantastic. I absolutely loved all of your cards. Just ignore that hashtag 12 days of Christmas because that
That was a keyboard lean.
Tom leaned on the keyboard weird. So just ignore that. But Debbie, I loved all of your cards and I really like how you did that sunflower. That was amazing, just using a little slice of cardstock. And also, you said you weren't going to make any tags, but you made bookmarks. And I think bookmarks are pretty close to tags. And you did add a tag to one of those cards. Now, one of our viewers made a comment that those flowers, because they're so symmetrical, would make great spinner cards. So those of you that like making spinner cards, use the stacking petals for that. And then I had to laugh because Brianne Loveland, when Debbie said that she had to get rid of some of her old bookmarks because she's used them for so long and she needed to make new ones, Brianne, who's an avid reader, said, I used a chip, like a potato chip or a tortilla chip or something. She said, I used a chip once as a bookmark. I need to get these. So Brianne, we know that the bookmark dies will be in your cart later on tonight. That really made me laugh. Debbie, we love your new stacking petals and we love all of your ideas. Thanks for making that great sheet for everybody to be able to see. And I thought I actually saw it on the website, but if not, we'll make sure that Sammy puts it up on our website as well. All right. Well, Debbie, that was awesome. Now we have Melanie waiting in the wings. And Melanie has a brand new stamp set too. She's got a brand new stamp and die. And you guys loved her beach frame so much that Melanie decided to do a floral frame. So check this out. This is her new flowering frame. Look at these gorgeous flowers in here. And I love that this die cuts the center out just perfectly. And then it's got all of these big greetings. We have so many really good greetings this release that you can mix and match between them. They're nice big greetings and they'll work so well with each other. So I'm not going to talk too much about this because I know Melanie's going to have lots of great information and beautiful samples. But without further ado, let's welcome her to the program. Welcome, Melanie Menchinger.
Hey everyone, Melanie Menchinger here. Thank you so much for joining us for our Gina K Designs July release party. I'm thrilled to be sharing my newest set from Gina K Designs with you, Flowering Frame. I loved reading all of your comments in the sneak peek and I can't wait to show you all of my samples for it. I've got a really beautiful line art floral frame that you can use portrait or landscape style on your cards. There's a space inside for you to add one of the 7 year-round greetings, so it's very versatile. You can use it for holidays all year. I've got a little ladybug that I love to have just popped up and crawling like a little embellishment on the flowers, and then a little bud and leaf that you can use to accent this or to accent the greetings on their own, maybe put on the back of a card or inside. Let's just jump right into the samples though. Before I mention that though, I want to show that we do have of course, a set of dies for this. A lot of people asked about that. And so you've got this huge die that will cut out the inside and the outside of that frame. Then you'll be left with this piece that you can either blend onto, put on a different card, have a photo showing through, plus a third piece, that outside image or outside piece of the cardstock that you can put on different cards, whether you want the cardstock to contrast, There's just so many things you can do with it. And then, of course, all those dies for the sentiments. So let's just get right into it. I can't wait to share my samples and then show you how I have used some of those coordinating sets that I talked about. All right, so this first one that I have, I just wanted to use some really beautiful, bright, springy, summery colors. So we've got some pinks, blues, purples, greens, and reds. I've got that little ladybug crawling along the top of that flower here. These are smaller flowers that you will find in my Beautiful Bees set, and I just love how these all turned out. Looks really pretty on this scalloped frame here. So this is one of the Master Layouts die cuts. I use the turquoise sea, and I just love how those look together. Just so fancy. I popped up the die cut greeting there, and this would also work really well as a portrait style layout. So any of these that I'm showing today, you can flip them whether you want them portrait or landscape. The next sample that I have for you, I wanted to do just some very simple coloring, and instead of stamping it with the jet black ink, I used the dark chocolate amalgam ink, and then I used just a little bit of pink and kind of a rusty brown for those leaves. So it's just very minimal, kind of a more earthy look. And then I did a little bit of blending with some peach Bellini and brown ink on the base of this white card, and then popped up my frame over it. So that is the Harvest Flourish stencil, and I just think it looks so pretty with those kind of vine and leafy flourishes with these flowers. And then the Thinking of You, this can work for anything. And then I just got some of those little clear dewdrops. I love how these look when you put them on the flowers as well. They're gonna look like real drops of dew on these flowers. And again, you can make this same card into a landscape style if you wish. The next one, I wanted to do some embossing. So I wanted to do some contrasting and a darker cardstock. I've got the black onyx cardstock, and this is embossed with the fine detail white powder because this is a very detailed image. You could take your colored pencils if you wanted to add some color to these, but I just love a black, yellow, and white card, so I decided to just leave it yellow, white, and black, and then just have the little one red ladybug pop. I put the die cut Happy Birthday there at a diagonal, so that's another way that you can place these greetings within the frame. And then I also just kind of wanted to show you a different way that you could kind of accent this frame and zhuzh it up a little bit by adding those little flower buds into the corners of that. Now you see this yellow, this is the base peeking out, and that's because I took that white piece from around the outside of this die cut and layered it onto my yellow card. So you've got the yellow inside peeking out. And so it's just a really nice way to have all three of those colors show on your layout. The next one, I wanted to do one of the kind of monochromatic grayscale cards, which are so fun with the gray, black, and white. So I stamped this in the jet black ink again on some white cardstock, and then I did some very simple coloring on the leaves and a few shadows with 2 different gray markers. I also wanted to show another way that you could crop this frame. So I've got it turned landscape style, but on the portrait card, and then I've just cut off those edges. So that's another way to use that. Then if you want to extend this design, you can just do some tone-on-tone stamping. This is a Stormy Sky base, and I use that coordinating ink with that little leaf and bud there on the bottom. You could also do that on the top too if you wanted to make the background really fancy. And then this black that's inside here, I do have this popped up, but this is recessed and glued directly onto the base. That is that black piece that I saved from this card. So all these pieces can be used, and it really just saves you a lot of time, but adds a lot of interest on your cards. And then I just added that thank you there. The next few samples that I want to show, I'm going to be showing with my coordinating sets. So I've got the Beautiful Bees here, and if you recognize these 2 large flowers, you have smaller versions of them in this new flowering frame. So I have stamped the frame directly onto this craft base with the jet black ink, And then I took the white inner piece from my die cut and just did a little blending with one of the Gina K brushes and some turquoise ink to create a little cloudy sky. And then here is my die cut and simply colored bee. I also added just a little bit of white pigment ink to these flowers on the corner with a water brush. And then I added that Have a Beautiful Day from the Beautiful Bees set. So this is a really big greeting. I just wanted to share a sample of how many other greetings will fit really nicely in this frame. So this is just a 2-layer card, but I just love how it turned out, and I love nature cards on craft bases. This next one I used with my recently released Birds and Branches set that also has a frame in it. It was sold out for a while, but it is back in stock. Because we're doing this wonderful July, Christmas in July release, I wanted to create kind of a Christmassy holiday card. So I've got a red velvet base here. I've just done some very simple coloring with the red markers to match that, and then a couple greens. I actually stamped the frame here in the Christmas pine ink. So you don't always have to use black or brown or gray. I just love how the green works when you've got leaves in the illustration. And then a very pale green there just to kind of create a shadow around the edge of that. And then I colored that die cut cardinal, and I have him just perching there on that celebrate. So lots of different fun wintry holidays that you could use this for, or a Christmas card. The next one, this is using the small butterfly from my butterfly frame set. And I have got this on a Barely There cardstock base. I have got this embossed this time with some of the Gina K Rose Gold. I just love this embossing powder. I think it looks so pretty with the Barely There ink. I have got one of her little flat rhinestones there, and I just used a very little bit of peach and pink to color the butterfly. And this is a sympathy card. It might be a little bit hard to see in this lighting, but underneath my die cut frame, I did the dogwood folder 3D embossing, and it looks so pretty with these flowers in this frame illustration. This would also be a really nice wedding design or a shower card, but I love butterflies with sympathy. The next thing that I want to show, I've got one of my larger butterflies here. This is from my Beautiful Butterflies set. And I wanted to show how sometimes you can use just a portion of the frame. You don't always have to use the whole thing. So here I have cut out the top, bottom, and side. You could also just use corners or one flower, or even just the bottom if you want to create a border. But this is die cut and then layered with some adhesive foam onto this little gift bag. And then I've got the butterfly from Beautiful Butterflies just perching there on the thank you. And I just wanted to do some nice fall colors here on these flowers on this butterfly. But I love how this bag turned out. It's just so easy to do. So die cutting and coloring just one frame, you can make 3, 4, 5 projects from it depending on how you cut that frame out. So just have fun, go wild with that. The final idea that I want to show you with this, this little, point out the little, oh, sorry, hit the camera there, have this little tiny sprig with this leaves and this little bud. So I want to show you how you could create your own shape frames on this. And I've got this as a little bit more oval here, and you could also do this vertically. But what I did is I have another video where I show how you can stamp these wreaths with just one little element by doing opposite sides. So the top, the bottom, the side, the corner, the corner, the corner, the corner. And then with any extra spaces in there, I just filled it in with another little sprig or with a little ladybug. And it just looks like they're crawling all over those leaves. So some very simple coloring here, just a couple green markers, a couple red markers, and then I blended in a little bit of jelly bean green ink behind that congrats. So I think this would be so pretty for a shower. I love how that turned out. So there's so many possibilities. You could even just do a little border, or for a very clean and simple, the sentiment with just one little sprig on one side or the other. So such a versatile set. I'm so excited with how it turned out. Again, I can't wait to see what our guests are going to do with it, and maybe what Gina's going to do with it. I hope she'll show a sample, and then what all of you are going to do with it. That's my favorite. So please make sure to tag me so that I can see it. And thank you so much for showcasing my stamps. And so we get to all appreciate your art and your ideas. Again, thanks so much for joining us. I just love being here. I love making these stamps for you, and just can't wait to see what y'all are going to do. I hope you're having a great summer. We'll see you soon. Love you. Bye-bye. God bless.
Wow, those cards were absolutely stunning, Melanie. And you know, one of the things that I love about the frame, and somebody was asking, well, how do you cut out just the inside piece? Well, you use that whole frame die, but then when you cut it out, the inside will fall out, and then you'll be able to position the other piece on top and kind of cover up that hole. But one of the things that I love about the frame die is the fact that it's open. You could make that into a shaker card too. So just like wreaths and other dies that are open like that, don't forget to try making the shadow box cards, but also try making a shaker card out of those just by putting a piece of acetate in front of that and then foam taping all around the perimeter and add all your different sequins and beads and things in there. Those cards were absolutely beautiful. I love that you added a Christmas card because we don't always think about how versatile our stamps can be just by changing up the colors and adding some holiday elements to mix in there with them, like that cardinal. That was a beautiful card too. So Melanie, thank you so much for sharing your talent with us and sharing all of those beautiful cards. And I also can't wait to see what the guests do and what our members do in our Facebook group, and all of you when you go on Instagram and you share your cards with us. It just gives us a little scrumble in our tummy when we see what you do with our stuff. So it's really exciting. Thank you, Melanie, and thank you to all of our illustrators for being here tonight and sharing all of their beautiful samples, their ideas, their idea sheets, and more. Make sure you join our Facebook group. If you're not a member there, Tom, let's show them the name of that. Join our Facebook group. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. And you will see all of our designers' projects, and you will see Melanie will post her cards all in there. Lisa will, Dina will. You'll see lots of cards from Beth and from, I'm trying to think, who else tonight had stamp sets? Debbie, she's going to share all of her things too. So there's going to be lots of beautiful samples. And then our guest designers flood the Facebook group with all of their projects. And then when our members get their stamps and their dies, they flood the group too. So we'd love to have you as a member over there. Come over and join us. We'd love to have you. All right, well, now it's my turn, and I get to show you my brand new card kit, and I'm really excited about this card kit. Now, I know I say a lot of times, oh, this is my favorite kit, this is my favorite kit, but something about this kit made me just want to power stamp this weekend. And I started on Saturday night, and I made all of these cards by Sunday afternoon. I just couldn't stop. I had so much fun with this kit, and I still have a million ideas for it. And that's when I know it's a good kit, and I don't think this one is going to last very long. So if it's on your list, I was just looking, if it's on your list, make sure that you get it because you're not going to be disappointed. It's got $155 worth of products inside of this kit. $155 when these products go a la carte on the website. That's how much it would be to get these products. And this kit is, I believe it's $69.95. So it's such a good deal. I mean, you're getting it almost at a cheaper price than we could do wholesale. I want to confirm that price. I'm pretty sure. Let me type it in here. July. Yep, $69.95. So you're getting this kit at like less than half price. Right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you everything that's inside the kit first, and then I'm going to show you all of my card samples because I mixed and matched a lot with this kit. So like all of our kits, it comes in this adorable box with a whole lot of happiness inside. These boxes are great for storage, to put different card projects that you're in the middle of working with. I travel a lot with my boxes. I'll put like cardstock and stamp sets and things that I want to use together, and I'll throw them in a suitcase if I'm going somewhere, or I'll just take them somewhere with me if I'm going to, go out and sit at a coffee shop and I want to do a little bit of crafting, or I want to sit outside. They're very convenient. And then I did sign some of the boxes because I actually helped Shelly kit this time, and I signed about 20 boxes, just signed the inside of the boxes. I did that. It means nothing, honestly. I said this in the Facebook group, but my signature and $7 will get you a Starbucks coffee. And $7 without my signature will also get you a Starbucks coffee. So, but I thought it would be fun just because I decided to pack some of them. So you might get one with my signature in there. I put a little note and signed it. All right, so all of our card kits have an index sheet in here, and you can see all of the things that are in this kit. So we've got 2 big 6x8 stamp sets. We've got a 4x4 stamp set. We've got 2 huge 6x8 die sets. We've got an additional die in here, and then as a free gift, you have a 3D embossing folder bundle, all for Christmas in July. Now, let me show you first. I'll start with this set. I'll start in the order that I showed the sneak peeks, okay? So let me get this box out of the way. So the first thing I want to show you here is this one here. This is our Joyful Borders stamp set. And there is a coordinating die set, and this stamp set is fantastic. It's got 3 beautiful border stamps that you can stamp in different combinations or just one at a time. They're perfect for tags, they're perfect for borders around your cards, or they're perfect as the focal image of your cards. And then it's got all of these gigantic greetings. Now these greetings are so good. They work really nicely with the new Master Layouts 21 that has that big strip and that fancy border. You're always looking for big stamps for that, and these work really nicely with that. And then we've got Merry Christmas, Season's Greetings, Sending Love, Wishing You Joy, Peace, Love, and Joy. And then you can do Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You can do Season's Greetings and a Happy New Year. You can do Sending Love and Warm Winter Wishes. Wishing You Joy and Warm Winter Wishes. So you can mix and match these greetings together and create lots of different ways to put greetings on your cards and your tags. Then it's got coordinating dies that cut out every single image and cut out all of the greetings. I especially love the way Brian did this die. This is the one that coordinates with this stamp. You can see how it's going to cut out. So it's going to cut out with everything free hanging there, so you can see the background behind it. And I love that, rather than just doing a big border around the outside and having all that white cardstock or whatever color you stamped on. Everything gets cut out, so it's really creates a lot of separation when you pop it up. So that's the Joyful Borders. Then we have this gorgeous poinsettia, and this feels a little bit like a very traditional feel. Look at the size of this poinsettia. Look at that. This is an A2 card. Look how big that poinsettia is. It's absolutely stunning. And this poinsettia is fantastic for inking techniques, but also beautiful with gold embossing powder. You just solid, beautiful textured poinsettia, silver embossing powder, or even white embossing powder, and then using an ink blending brush to add color, like a mist of color, all in and around that poinsettia. And then you stamp the insides of the poinsettia separately. Very simple to line up. You can see right through it. It lines up every time. Then we also have some holly and holly berries, so you can make a holly berry design. And look at how gorgeous these greetings are. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, A Gift for You, and Sent with Love. This would be great to stamp on the back, and this would be great for your tags. And then, of course, we did a gigantic die set for this one. So you can cut the poinsettia out, you can cut the leaves and the holly berries out, you can cut all of the greetings out. And again, I love the way the greetings are just totally cut out. It's all that scroll work in there. Love this poinsettia set. Can't wait to show you my samples in a minute. Then we did something really fun. We did a jumbo postage die. Now this one has stitching that goes around the perimeter. This is going to fit on your A2 cards, but it'll also fit on 5x7. If you want to add another layer in there, you can, because this is a pretty big die. It is, I don't have a ruler here, but it's a big one, and I'm sure that the dimensions are on the website. If not, we'll make sure we get them up there. But I'll show you the cards that I made with this, and you'll see how big it is on that A2 card base. So we did a big postage die so that you can make big postage cards with your big poinsettia flower and all of these gorgeous jumbo borders. And then we did a big postage stamp set to go with it. So this is called Postage Plus, because it's a little bit plus sized compared to our other postage sets, which are like really tiny so that you can get them into the little boxes. We needed a nicer, bigger set that was going to be perfect on here, that you'd really be able to see them. And they're all holiday editions. So you've got December, you've got For You, Merry Christmas. Of course, we had to do some 25s, right? So we did 25 cents. We did First Class. We did 12 cents for 12 Days of Christmas. Happy Holidays, 25 December with Peace. This is like that canceled stamp, and then the cancellation thing, so you can kind of do those together. We have the word postage here. Then we have 10 cents, 5 cents, and then we have 10 cents spelled out. So you can add those to different parts of the stamp. And Mindy Egan showed me her card that she made using this die set, and it's spectacular. So wait to see how beautiful she used this in her card tonight. Then, of course, we decided to do a free gift, and we wanted to do something that we felt would work beautifully with Christmas, but wasn't just for Christmas. So this one is called Bursting Blossoms. It can be a beautiful Christmas flower, or it can be used any time of the year. And this one has this big 3D embossing folder, It's got 2 dies in it that will cut out the 2 flower heads, so you can pop them up, or you can use these to make wreaths with other greenery. And then it's got coloring stencils, and this really splits out all of the petals so you can get lots of depth and dimension in between the layers. And I'm going to show you samples with every single thing that I have on this table tonight. But you get all of this in this kit for only $69.95. I mean, just one bundle alone would be $50. So you can see the huge value that you get here. Okay, so I'm going to put all of this back into the box here, and then I am going to show you some of my cards. So I'm going to start with a card that shows off the Joyful Borders stamp set. So here we go. I made this one, and see, I jazzed it up there with some of our silver iridescent dots. And what I did here was I used our sweater stencil. I think that's called Close Knit. But I used that stencil with a little bit of sea glass ink in the background. I cut this panel with Master Layouts too. And then I stamped 2 of these borders. I'm going to bring out the stamp sets though, just so that you can see them plain and then you can see them colored in. So I cut out 2 of these borders here. And I just positioned one upright, and then I did the reverse. I reflected it down here at the bottom. I just cut it, 2 of them, and I just flipped them. And then I added the Sending Love and Warm Winter Wishes. And this is, I colored these with my Olo markers. And then I didn't do any fancy shading or anything, but color them with the Olo markers. And then all the little snowflakes that are in there, I just used those little silver iridescent dots to add some sparkle to that card. And then I put this whole card onto a red hot card base. So that's my first card, and I used the Joyful Borders for this. So I'm going to show you another Joyful Borders card. And this one, I used this image here, and I cut that out. I used the Twirl It Checks background to give it a home, warmy, almost like a warm blanket feel back there. It feels like a nice quilted blanket. And then I colored these again with my, I said Olo, I meant Ohuhu. I used my Ohuhu markers for these, and I used Ohuhu markers for these as well. I colored these all with Ohuhus, and then I used the Seasons Greeting stamp here at the bottom. And I popped this all up with foam squares. You can see the foam squares in there. I popped this all up with foam squares to just create that separation. So you can see how nice that looks when it's all cut out like that. I just love the way the die cuts that out. These cards are so fast and easy to make too. You just cut a bunch of these and just color them while you're watching TV, and then you just pop them up in the center of whatever stenciled background and pop your greeting on there. And then I just added some black pearls to the ends of the little strings that went across. And you see right here where you don't see the strings, but on the stamp set you do see those strings, like the little points of the strings. You know what I did? I just took a white gel pen and I just blotted out the little black ends of the strings where they met there so that they matched up with the other ones. So this will definitely be a card I'm going to make this month. I'm going to make this one too, for sure. In a video with you guys. But I love these cards and I love the feel of these borders. Now, I didn't get a chance to make a tag, but I think that this would also make a beautiful tag. You could certainly use these cards on some of the bigger tags that we have in our collection, and you could also use Debbie's bookmark dies to make longer tags if you wanted to add some of these. So I just love this. Okay, and then the next card I want to show you, what I did with this big poinsettia stamp set. All right. And I also used the postage stamp set, the Postage Plus stamp set for this next card. So I made this one and I used the postage. So I used the postage die and I cut that out, and then I just put some masking magic around the edge, and I just used a little bit of sea glass ink. I think you can see that. I'll take good pictures of these as we make these cards together on our regular Stampin' Chat Lives. And then I added our snowy background stamp just to add some spatter. I always feel like that just makes it look a little more festive. And then because I had my masking magic, well, actually, I actually die cut that. So you could just use masking magic and stamp it, but I did die cut that. See that? Forgot that I did that. So I die cut the flower here, but you can just chop it with a paper cutter too. Once you get one side at a right angle, then you can use that right angle to get the other side very squared off. And then I just placed it in there along the edge of where my sea glass ink was. And then I used my Misty and I stamped this, this stamp here from Postage Plus, the canceled stamp thing. And I added the Merry Christmas from Postage Plus, and I added 25 cents down here in the corner. I stamped this with red hot ink, and then I used some dark cranberry along the edges just to edge that color and make it look a little bit deeper. And then I used some marigold. I used marigold here for the centers of the poinsettia. And then I used a little honey mustard just around the perimeter just to darken it up a little bit. And then my card base is actually Christmas pine. You can see that a little bit better against the white cardstock. That's that beautiful deep pine that looks so nice with any of our spruces. Then I decided I wanted to go 5x7. So I made a couple of 5x7 cards for you tonight as well. Here is one that I made. I used Master Layouts 8 to cut that stitched panel. And all I did was stamp one big poinsettia up here at this top corner and another big poinsettia down here at the bottom. I did use a little bit of a bigger piece of cardstock and I stamped first. I stamped this in turquoise sea, and then I edged the little petals here with Tranquil Teal just to darken them up a little bit. And then I used the snowy background stamp. I just inked up a little tiny bit of it with black ink, and I stamped it here and I stamped it here just to add some spatter, because I'm not very good with spatter, but I'm great with a stamp. You could also use the spatter stamp from the Seasonal Patterns and Phrases. And I would have done that, but I left it at home. I mean, I left it at work when I was home, and I didn't have one at home. So that's how I did that. I did have the snowy background. And then I used some of our silver pearls from our metallic pearls to fill in the little centers of the poinsettia. You don't have to do that. I could have stamped the centers with the center stamp, and I could have embossed them in silver if I wanted silver, but I just decided I wanted to use up some of those bigger pearls that I don't use quite as often as I use the small ones, and I had a lot of them, so I thought, oh, it's a great use for them because they fit perfectly in there. So I stamped all of this with turquoise sea and tranquil teal, and then I put it on a sea glass card base. And that's Master Layouts 8. So that's why it's 5x7. Then I decided I wanted to use the holly here. So I cut 3 of these leaves. I stamped and cut 3 of these leaves and 1 of these little holly berries. And I decided to make a tag. So I used our tag trio set, and I stamped this with our light spruce ink, and then I used some medium spruce just along the edge, just to kind of deepen it a little bit toward the center. And then I used some medium cranberry ink for the holly berries themselves. Then I used 2 of the stamps, A Gift for You and Happy Holidays, because it is a tag, and I'm probably going to hang this one on a gift. And I also took some Masking Magic strips and just went around this tag, and I inked that whole thing up with some sea glass ink first, and then while the Masking Magic was still on, I used that snowy background stamp again and added a little bit of that light spruce spatter on there. And then I used some of our iridescent dots, and this is just from that multicolored iridescent dot set of embellishments, but these were the lightest ones in the pack, so I added those on there too. And I feel like this holly berry is so big. Sometimes you get small ones in the stamp sets and they're really cute, but you're not exactly sure what to use them for. But this big, bold one is perfect for a tag, and I just thought that was so pretty. Then I decided to move to the embossing folder. Okay, so I did the 3D embossing folder, and I used the coloring stencils. I haven't used the dies yet, but we'll get to that this month, I'm sure. Yes, I will definitely, I'll do videos on all of these cards, I promise. Okay, so let me show you this one that I did with the 3D folder, and I made a big 5x7 card for you. So I did this in reds and greens. I used Red Hot and some dark cranberry here to add all of the depth in between the petals. And then I used light spruce and medium spruce for all of the leaves. And you can see all the details in that beautiful embossing folder, all the little lines that are through there and the lines on the leaves. You can see those. And then I used the Merry Christmas greeting from the Big Poinsettia set. And then I used some of our gold iridescent dots because I always think gold is so pretty with red and green. It's so traditional. So I've got the red flowers, the green leaves. I used Master Layouts 8 for my panels here. It's got that nice stitching, and then I used a Red Hot card base and made this big 5x7 card. And you can see, even though this isn't a poinsettia flower, and the reason why I didn't do a poinsettia embossing folder is because I'll just tell you now, we have one coming later this season. So I wanted to do this one because there are still some of you that are working on fall, and you could turn these into fall flowers. It's hard to turn a poinsettia into anything but a poinsettia, but you could turn other flowers into Christmas flowers with the right color. So I thought this was a good choice as the free gift for this kit. But just adding that Merry Christmas on there, it just pulls it all together. And I'll tell you what, I would not be disappointed to get a card like this for Christmas, even if it wasn't a poinsettia. All right, so that's one card. Then I decided to use just the stencils for my next 2 projects because the stencils are super cool and they give you a very modern look. You don't necessarily always have to use the embossing folders to get a beautiful look with the stencils. So the first one I want to show you is this one. I used the big Postage Plus stamp set, and I used the new postage die from the kit, and then I just stenciled this in shades of blue. And I thought this was appropriate because not everybody celebrates Christmas, and I know that blues are very popular for Hanukkah cards, and just blues are beautiful for generic holiday cards. They have a very wintry feel. So I thought for somebody that maybe doesn't celebrate Christmas, or maybe you don't know if they do and you just want to be a little more generic, this is a great holiday card by using the Happy Holidays from the Festive Bloom. Is that what that's called? Festive Bloom. We've had a lot of poinsettias over 20 years. Festive Bloom stamp set. And then I once again did the same thing with that snowy black background. I just put a little black ink on a little tiny portion of it, just a corner. And I just boop and boop. And I kept the masking magic on there so the spatter didn't go outside of where I wanted it. And I also edged the whole thing with some sea glass ink to just kind of finish that off just by using masking magic strips around the outside. So this card, I want to say it's my favorite. I don't know if it's my favorite, but the colors, guys, this is my color. So I really love that. And then I used some of our crystal clear sequins in here and just that little pop of marigold in there. I love having that in there too. And then I did one more sample. I wanted to make a tag, and I wanted to use this stamp from the Joyful Borders, the Peace, Love, Joy stamp. And it's so big, and I thought, how can I work that into a tag? And I think I found the perfect way. So I used the layering stencils from this bundle without the embossing folder, and I made this tag. And I did the same thing again. I used masking magic around the perimeter and just added a very light mist of sea glass ink, just a little bit, to create some separation. And I left the masking magic on there, and I stenciled this with no embossing folder, just to have a nice, a nice, crisp, modern image. And then I used some of the crystal clear sequins on there to give it some sparkle. And then I used the Peace, Love, Joy stamp just down the side. I thought that was very modern and different than just having a greeting going across. And of course, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you put this on a gift this way, it would work. You could hang it from a bottle this way or from a gift. And it's so, I love it. I just think that's so elegant, having it stamped down the side. And you can do any of these down the side. You can do the Merry Christmas down the side. You could do Season's Greetings, Wishing You Joy, Sending Love. You can do any of that down the side of any card. It doesn't have to be a tag. You could have made a card and done the same thing down the side. But it's something that we don't really think to do very much. And I thought it was another fun idea. So those are all of my cards that I made in about a total of 5 hours of stamping. I couldn't get enough of this kit, and I had limited time, but the ideas were flowing. It was so easy to make all of these cards and tags for you, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. Oh, Tom took me out, but there you go. Tom took me out. There we go. There's everything that I made. All your inspiration for this beautiful card kit. It was so much fun. And I've been so hot lately. And, when it's like spring, nobody wants to think about winter and the cold. But in the heat of July and all of the heat indexes we've had, I actually really enjoyed making some Christmas cards. And what a fun way to get a jump start on your holiday cards. Now, we do have a holiday release coming in September, and all of our illustrators will have holiday sets. And of course, we're going to have another holiday kit. But this is a great kit to build on the one that's coming in September, because I'm going to be mixing and matching. So what do you think? Let's take a look at these cards again. You guys like this kit? I hope you love it as much as I do. I absolutely love it. We're going to be giving away 3 gift cards tonight, 3 $25 gift cards to 3 lucky winners in the chat. And if you're new here, to be entered to win, all you have to do is drop a comment in the chat, and Tom is going to spin his magic wheel back there on his computer and automatically pick 3 winners, randomly pick 3 winners. But I already told you about our Facebook group, but I have to say, I noticed that there were quite a few people in here saying, I'm new, this is my first time. If you're new here, we would love you to subscribe to our channel. And whether you're new or you're not new, if you give this video a thumbs up, it really does help. Share the video with other people. And you know, I can't believe that only about 30% of the people that actually watch the videos every week are subscribed. Some people think they're subscribed, but they're not. They're just used to getting the texts and stuff. But if you aren't subscribed, or you see the subscribe button there and it asks you to subscribe, it doesn't say already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button for me and become one of our subscribers. We would love that. And then if you're not part of our Facebook group, here's the name once again. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Come on over and join us in our Facebook group. And then a big shout out to Brianne Loveland. Thank you, Brianne, for sharing all of the links and helping everybody find everything tonight. Release parties are crazy, and Brianne handles it like a champ. But if you missed any of her links, you can find everything that I used tonight on our website at ginakdesigns.com, along with all of the beautiful stamps, dies, and stencils by our illustration team. Well, what do you think, Tom? Which card is your favorite? Do you have a favorite here?
Okay, I have to say that the flower work on that red one.
This one?
Yeah.
You like that,
That
huh?
is just breathtaking.
Yeah.
That's got me.
That's got you, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, well, that's Tom's favorite. Oh, my goodness. I'm really having trouble because I love this one. I also love this one, but this one's so cute. And I love this one. I'm torn. I love them all. I can't pick. I would love to know what your favorite one is. Pop it in the chat while Tom is getting ready to pick the winners. So, and also if you're watching on the rewatch, I'd love to know which one of these is your favorite as well. All right, Tom, come on in. Come on in. So, are you ready to pick 3 winners
Here we
for
go.
our $25 gift card?
Here we go.
All right.
Drummer. Oh, so exciting. The 3 winners tonight are Renee Walford, 4110, Tammy Welu, 1097, and Anna Marie Brenner, 8311. You are our winners.
Yay! Congratulations to all of our winners. Winners, all you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com. Let them know you won the $25 gift card at our release party, and our customer service team will get those emailed over to you. They never expire, so you can use them later. You can use them if you haven't shopped yet. You can use them for this release, if there's anything left, I don't know. And you could certainly use them for our next release too. They don't expire, so they're just gift cards. All right, everybody. Well, wow, this was so much fun. I had a great time with you guys. Thanks again to all of our illustrators for coming in and sharing all of their beautiful samples tonight. A big shout out to our guest designers that are spreading the love all over Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Check out some of our fantastic YouTube content creators like Mindy Egan, Kathy Zilski, Megan Andrew, Rebecca Keppel. They all show gorgeous Nancy stamps from Nancy. She has the Foiling Snobs Club Facebook group too. She always does some cool foiling and mixes that in. Make sure you check all of our content creators because they're going to be sharing YouTube videos and they're going to be sharing beautiful card samples all over Facebook and Instagram. And then Tom and I will be back on Thursday with another Stamp and Chat Live, and I'm going to dig into this kit and I'm going to make the very first card. I don't know which one I'm going to make yet, and I'll probably change up the colors and do something completely different, but let's see what we can do together. We'll pick one of these themes and we'll make them together. All right, everybody. It is time for me to go home and put my feet up, and I hope you guys are doing the same and that you enjoyed the inspiration. Stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and mwah, we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.